yeah. I'm over the head, I'm stopping in it. I'm in the perfect place. I'm in the perfect place. I'm in the perfect place. Pull up a stick and wait, yeah. But they gon' pay the way. Niggas snake, wait. Oh, 400 shadows all night. And the plain things ain't on a 19. Yeah, I got 9 up, yeah, 9 times. And something get hurt, ain't right. And we all on that dodgy, yo. Baby mama, baby, not shit, yo. It's right love, not meaning, God, blow it. I use bugger, but I don't want to touch her. Yeah, this sweater, that's why my son up. Yeah, my buzz, yeah, this is how I buzz down. Really, you know, on my city, everything is good, cause I said so, you get me, yeah. Winning, W on plenty, yeah, get the spinning, yeah, get the ball in, yeah, get the show in, promo everything, big, take it to OG, oh, 400 shadows all night, and the plain names ain't on a 19, yeah, I got 9 up, yeah, 9 times, and something get hurt, ain't right, oh, 400 shadows all night. And the plain names ain't on a 19. Yeah, I got 9 up, yeah, 9 times. And something get hurt, ain't right.
Hey, it's your boy Clay, and you back on another live stream from me. And what we're gonna be getting into is Metatronics and the Metatronic code and the Metatronic technologies that are going around and has control over everybody. Without further ado, I'm gonna share my screen, and we about to get into it, man. Like this information, this is very risky information. I'm risking it for y'all, but for real, this is some deep stuff here.
Collective. There's an entity called Jehovani. Jehovani was an entity in good standing, as most entities are. Jehovani was part of the collective that created the Christos founders races that seeded this time matrix 950 billion years ago. It was the groups of Elohim that were commissioned to Stargate 11, which was Avion in Lyra. They were commissioned as the guardians, the Christos founders guardians of Stargate 11, that became convoluted, code convoluted, which began their downfall, both genetically, template-wise, and of consciousness. That particular group were out of the entity called Jehovani. Because of the fall that took place, the genetic fall, and the creation of the black hole that I'll talk about in a minute, was created 250 billion years ago. The entity Jehovani fell because there's a law of physics that applies. If you are an ascended master being, you have your pieces up there, your parts of self stationed out of the time matrix. You send in X amount of energy of yourself into the matrix. If you sent in, and most don't, but on occasion, as an ascended master collective will send in more than a natural proportion of its energy into the matrix, say for a salvage mission. If the salvage team you sent in goes down too, it takes the whole collective down. So there was an entity that fell as a result of what took place 250 billion years ago. Well, right now we're dealing with self-appointed creator gods from a fallen matrix that have painstakingly, over a very long period of the illusion of linear time, created a technology. Now, the lens of the eye of Metatron was only the beginning of what became a nightmare. It's a nightmare we've all been living. Planetary system, dimensional system by dimensional system. The Wesedex managed to create wormhole links through using this particular mathematics and crystal technology that were referred to as the Metatronic seed atoms, putting them in the stargates between Phantom and here. They linked through the halls of Amente before the halls of Amente were there. In fact, the halls of Mente were created later because of this. They were the natural stargates in our system. They began to seed them with the Metatronic atoms, which meant there is a bridge, that arc. They created arcs of frequency that would run from Wisadek matrix through our stargates into Phantom. And eventually, what their ultimate goal was to do it all the way down from D11 all the way down to D1, link all the systems together, and then use the power to pull both of them into their matrix. So you could pull this time matrix down, literally break it off from its D12 connection at 11.5, the Metatronic eye, and reverse its whole mathematical coding and reverse Phantom and pull everything in them into the Metatronic imprint. That would be permanent if that were to happen. So of course the founders knew from the beginning that that was not going to be allowed to happen. There would be the sweep of the great cosmic cycle that would come through and open all of the highest gates and reset the D12 divine blueprint. What that would do would create a polarization wave that would separate anything that didn't belong in this divine blueprint originally and didn't have 30% of its original divine blueprint left because it had the Metatronic override, would be taken in to the Metatronic system. The Metatronic races blame the founders for this. They take no responsibility for the fact that they're the ones that created this darn blasphemy of science themselves. They sealed their own destiny when they created the Metatronic distortion. And at this point, they are simply trying to feed on whatever's available. They've done an amazing thing, but the sophistication of intelligence or intellect that these beings have to be able to take science. They're not just moving bodies around, they're moving galaxies around. They're moving suns. They're connecting suns to suns to suns through stargates. But they are living a reality where they're creator gods. And they have gods. There's a couple of popular ones. One is called Jehovah. Another one is called Ahala. Gives you an idea of some of the gods here. There's another one called Brahma. There's several. And these are like D11. They call them D11 dark avatars. They're avatar collectives. D11, 11.5 at the highest level of them. That 0.5 they get from plugging into the Metatronic eye. The Metatronic bodies that were created through the programming are very interesting structures. They take part of what would be a normal living biological structure, and they take out certain parts, the mathematics that are missing or pieces of the template that are missing, and they plug in certain parts of the template together that weren't originally meant to be plugged in together. Completely destroys the entire template when it's fully done. There's not 30% left where you can do bioregenesis to plug it back into its natural divine blueprint. It creates an atrocity. It creates something other than what was originally created in the Christos vein, and it creates something that is not compatible with the mathematics or the scalar frequencies of the Christos divine blueprint for this matrix or any other one. So in making a choice to be immortal, they made a choice to be finite because their immortality is dependent on sucking energy from living things, living matrices. The Metatronic bodies are frightening things in a way because the races that agree to participate in order to have short-term immortality in exchange for eternal life, they sentence themselves to that destiny, the path of Arimathea that was originally intended as a path of evolution, a faster path of evolution back into Christendom, became the path of de-evolution. It became the path of the Metatronic imprint, which has no alternative but to return to source through implosion. Now, there are vast races there at this point because the evolution has gone for so long. There are many, many races that originally started out as a handful of races of Draconian, Wisadek, Now, we Sedeks were the ones who originally weren't even part of this matrix. They had fallen from another collective and created that black hole system, that ours got hooked into. And the Elohim, all of these races, there's just a small amount of them from the higher density fields, higher dimensional fields, like D11, D10. They, once they had made the Metatronic promise and they had allowed their templates to be recoded, they created spawn. They created more of themselves. They, just like the creator gods, just like Source, created the Ascended Masters, and the Ascended Masters created the Rishi, and the Rishi created the Avatars and the Krystal's founders races, and they created us down here. They decided, well, now we've got our own universe. We're masters of the universe now. Now we're God over here. And they began to create and populate their matrix with more and more races that had to feed off other living races in order to sustain their matrix. So at this point, there are many, many races there. The races of Phantom Matrix, once they became combined with the Weesadek Matrix, became a force of what on this planet and many others is known as the Antichrist. It is a collective, it's not just a singular. Survival of the fittest is one of the things that happens when a race realizes it's finite. And the only way it can sustain and not implode and not be blown back to space dust.
All right, so now I have the ground to be able to show you that the Metatronics is all around us. And the first example that I want to uh, show everybody is, everybody's on Facebook, and everybody then put themselves on Facebook. But now, Facebook has become Meta. And with Meta, you put yourself into the metaverse. You understand? And you see that it's just a replication of the same thing. You see right here, La Meta, and then they have, the checkerboard flag. That's a representation of the cute pattern of the encapsulation of consciousness. Um, but the infiltration goes far beyond that. Within a specific community, the infiltration goes very deep to where we're being terrorized by these sleeper cell agents um in our community. If you look right here, you have Metatronic codes within our community um that you have to ask, where do these people, you know where are you getting all of this stuff from, these Metatronic emblems, this Metatronic understanding? Where are you getting this from? And you know, you have to make the further connection to uh, what's what's been promoted out here, because it's all around us. It's all around us. So how are certain people getting into this Metatronic codes that seem to control people? Um, you understand what I'm saying here? And the Metatronic code, it's an old system. It goes all the way back to something that was called the Brotherhood of the Snake. In ancient times, the Brotherhood of the Serpent is supposedly, it's an ancient secret society linked to very other myths, including extraterrestrial controlling human affairs, ancient astronauts, ancient Egyptians, Mesopotamian mythology theories about secret meanings of pyramids, and alleged pre-Jewish motifs in the Bible, and up to the Rosicrucians, the Knights Templar, Freemasonry, and the Illuminati. Um, these things is very deep, especially when we get into the technology that is being produced. And I'm about to get into that right now. Uh, that's the fraternities. About to get into it right now, if or whenever I find my tab. Jason. Okay, so right here, I'm showing you the what is called the Jason Society, and I'm going to show you some of the things that they have been doing underneath our noses. We're gonna start. Um, we're gonna start. Okay, let's start. Laser propulsion study. The laser propulsion study. Let's start in the summer of 1977. They started laser propulsion studies. Uh, then they came back with the sonic boom report. A sonic boom is a sound associated with shock waves created when an object travels through the air faster than the speed of sound. Sonic booms generate enormous amounts of sound energy, sounding similar to an explosion or thunderclap to the human ear. Um, okay, we're gonna go up over here to the occultation study summary. We're gonna go to this and we're gonna highlight this one. Occultation is an event that occurs when one object is hidden from the observer by another object. They were studying occultation. Um, then they started studying airships. Then they started just doing research in neutrino detection. Um, just follow me here. All right, we're gonna go up here to the small satellites, and then small satellite RPAs, and global change research. Now, what a RPA is a remotely piloted aircraft. Um, and then we're gonna go up here. They were doing a study in 1991, and August 1991, and they have small satellites and RPVs, remotely piloted vehicles. 1993. Okay. Um, this is where it gets kind of creepy right here. They started a small scale propulsion research. So, small scale propulsion, they already have remotely, like small scale, remotely powered vehicles. Now they have flies on the wall, cockroach in the corner, uh, rat in the basement, bird in the sky, small scale propulsion, small scale propulsion. So they already have the technology to be able to remotely pilot a genetically modified organism. Um, okay, so right here they have what is called DNA computing, and that's in October 1995. They have inertial confinement fusion, ICF. They have quantum computing in July 1996. Um, that's you have to see the Metatronics that is involved with all of these things. They have um, I'm going to go up here to the power sources for ultra low power electronics. They have molecular electronics interfacing the nano and micro worlds. You understand that? Microelectronics, molecular electronics within Metatronics. Then they have uh, space infrastructure for 2020. So that's what they've been working on. We're working on underneath our noses. Uh, you have them working on radiological weapons. Radiological means radio sciences and logical. Uh, they have biofeatures research, biodetection architecture, biodetection architectures. Then they developed high power lasers for direct energy weapons. Um, Horizontal integration. Broader access models for realizing information dominance, December 2004. High performance biocomputation. You understand what that means? More Metatronics. High performance biocomputation, biological computers. You understand what I'm saying here? Uh, right here, they have tactical infrared sound, infrared sound, tactical infrasound. Um, they have engineering microorganisms for energy production. You understand? So they that's more Metatronics to use microorganisms or a life form to power something. That's a Metatronic system. Um, Human performance research in 2008. In October 2008, they they were working with high frequency gravitational waves. Um, you have to notice over here in 2000, over here in 2014, they started the robust health data infrastructure. No, April 2014. Data for individual health, November 2014. Artificial intelligence and health and healthcare, December 2017. Uh, though that's really important that they were onto something before it happened. Um, this is some very weird stuff that they got going on in the Metatronic field. Uh, because it all has some ties, you know, into other things. Um, so what we're going to continue with is um, more exposure on these.
It's all tied into the UN, Silicon Valley, Bill Gates, and so many more. There is a valley, but some really bad people have taken control of this entire planet. It's all tied into the UN, Silicon Valley, Bill Gates, and so many more. There is a huge network collaboration like you would not believe globally. But at their core, the military-industrial complex, to include all intel agencies, and at the very heart of it, the very controlling elite part of it, secret societies, a collaborative, combined effort of secret society evil. I've deactivated my implant, but they have backups.
You see, this stuff is for real. These people are in high positions and all types of stuff. These people got us in a real cute, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry if I'm coming off a little bit of extra to people, but this is to wake people up, and I want y'all to see this stuff. That this stuff is for real, and it's controlling us. And this next example that I'm about to give is it's just the truth, and feel however you feel.
This board, will they be able to see it? Here. Oh, I can just take the mic. Time to start taking things that belong to us. Now look, Look at this. Black folk picking cotton. Listen good now. Cotton was then what oil is now. The largest producer of oil in the world are the rich ones, and the strategic interests of America means in order for them to rule, they have to link with where the oil is coming from and take it or maneuver to get it, but they must have oil. In the time of slavery, it was cotton. And it's interesting that the cotton would come down the Mississippi, New Orleans to the Gulf, from Biloxi, Mississippi, and from Mobile, Alabama. And the cotton would come down and go up to New York, where the brethren of the Jewish people in the South, in the North, were the masters of the needle trades. And they had their brothers also in the South taking the lint from the cotton and producing cloth through weaving. But these were Jewish people owning the land. They were the majority. They were the merchants. They were the traders. They knew how to hook up with their brethren in the North, and they would send raw cotton to the mills in England, in Manchester, Leeds, and Bristol, and the British would turn it into cloth and then sell it all over the world. So from cotton, the South became rich. From cotton, it fueled the Industrial Revolution in the North. From cotton, the Rothschilds became rich. From cotton, the Lehman Brothers became rich from cotton in Alabama, then moved to New York and Wall Street. I know the truth, and somebody gotta tell it or die trying.
That video has become my favorite video of all time because of the just sheer exposure of what happened to my people is crazy, and how we got infiltrated into this Metatronic system with like no other heavier Metatronic system that is being propagated, like, for real. So my next point is going to be, man, how did this happen? How did this happen? I don't know how could it happen? Examples like this right here. This is the example that we talk about. Who taught our people this stuff? Right here, this is an example of the type of things that we got going on in our community without us even knowing us, and it's controlling us. I'm sorry, but this is for real. There's more examples of this, man. Like this, you know what I mean. This is wild to me. That is wild. Can somebody, like, Kanye West, like, what how do you get trapped into Metatron Metatron's cube. You get trapped into the Metatronics. And this is what worries me. It's all around us. It's all around us everywhere we go. Like there's almost no way to be able to escape the Metatronic code because we work every day in this system for money. And it's crazy. The financial system is controlled by this Metatronic system. The political system is controlled by this Metatronic system. Um, you know, our religious orders are controlled by these Metatronic systems. Um, and what I'm trying to propose is a way and a source for freedom from this. Uh, we can escape it. We can escape it by not letting them do two things. That's govern our governmentals. They cannot govern our minds, and they cannot entertain our minds and trap our minds. When we say that these Metatronic forces own the entertainment industry, own the political system, man, it's for real. Like people didn't believe me whenever I was talking about the Khazarians, and I show them that the Khazarians are right there with the Ukrainians, or they are Ukrainians. And when we say that Nazis, when Vladimir Putin says Nazis have taken over Ukraine, this what we mean. That whenever I show you this video, I use. Hold up, I'm trying to get it together. Wow, I can't even share my screen. Okay. Share. All right.
See, you got Zelensky over there with the Khazar.
As I'm showing you, that's the Khazarians with the Ukrainians. And those are the forces that are at work. And I'm telling you that this guy reacts off of emotional energy to stay immortal. Like these systems is to keep these beings immortal on this planet. There are millions of them on this planet. We carrying a lot of DNA in us, and this DNA is of higher descent, and it's just a manipulation of it. It's just a manipulation of it. It's about knowing that you have a purpose. Right now, we have to deal with this thing that is called the 2030 Initiative, right? They say that they want to end poverty in all forms everywhere. They want to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. They said they want to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all ages. They said ensure inclusive and equitable qualities, education, and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Goal 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. 6, ensure availability and sustained management of water and sanitation for all. Goal 7, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. promote, sustain inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Reduce inequality within and among countries. Make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem sustainability. Manage forest, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. Conserve and sustainability use the ocean, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. Goal 16. Promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development. Provide access to justice for all and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Strengthen the means for implementation and revitalize global partnerships for sustainable development. The thing that uh, should be said about this 2030 initiative is, the people that lead it is the World Health Economic Forum, and they're gonna come out with a whole bunch of limitations on people that you're not gonna be comfortable with, you know, and I'll always have to say this, and a descending timeline, people can start getting locked up in FEMA camps and things like that. Um, on an ascending timeline, we're able to transverse all of this, and we get to make peace treaties and things and agreements, to ensure that we really achieve, a better future for everything. But there's descending timelines where all of these things that they're saying is not going to be possible or anything like that, uh, because of the systems that they're trying to put in place. Also, with just trying to control people without their will. Um, and I'm gonna try to give an example of that. If you guys can stick around. Um, I'm not trying to make no false claims, but this guy says some real wild stuff when he's saying that you can hack humans. He says you can hack humans, and I'm about to show you how wild it gets. Excuse me, real quick. I'm trying to get y'all to the right point. All of them, all of these people that you're getting a glimpse of, they all involved in it. They all involved in it. This right here.
Street light.
This is the most infectious pathogen and demonic pathogen this earth has ever hosted. And the only thing to shut it down is 5G technology. It can be put in cleaning products, office supplies, your paper, your printers, your ink. Peptides, oligonucleotides. I mean, everything, every protein. These are, the idea is to, as that demon wants to do, is to restructure life. It can be put into consumer electronics, heating, ventilation, air conditioning systems, water, milk, food, drink, cosmetics, fluids, fragrances, so the plan, the reason why Biden signed that executive order
was to say that they need a full-on government approach so that every cell in the human body can be programmed, is because they are not planning. They've already started unleashing this stuff in everything that we're going to be exposed to. So this is President Biden, computers, unlock the power of the biological data. That's why Starlink is needed. Every person is going to have, trillions and trillions of information, so they need these servers for it. Computing tools and artificial intelligence, and he talks about using that. He says, we want to advance the science of scale-up production while reducing obstacles of commercialization so that the technologies and products can reach faster. Now, he does talk about here, including the scale-up production. So the production is called biosynthesis.
Okay, so I'll stop the video at this point so you can read. We need to develop genetic engineering technologies and techniques to be able to write circuitry for cells and predictably program biology in the same way in which we rewrite software and program computers. Unlock the power of biological data, including through computing tools and artificial intelligence, and advance the science of scale-up production while reducing the obstacles for commercialization so that innovative technologies and products can reach markets faster. This is a real thing. This is really happening, bro.
The production is done within the human body. We become the production factories for this technology, and we become the property of AI. So,
insertion?
Not necessarily. You could go through the veins and arteries.
If you pay attention, this is in 2016.
Because that provides a complete roadway to all of your neurons.
Fast forward to the 27th of March 2017, and Musk announces that he will be backing a new brain-computer interface venture, Neuralink. The ultimate goal of this company is to merge man with machine, fusing human intelligence with artificial intelligence, ultra-thin between man and...
Know these things just by the act of downloading.
Well, that's one implication.
Into our brains.
But we'll have more neocortex. So we won't be limited to a mere 300 million pattern modules. We'll have billions or 10 billion.
What, biologically, or just simply because we have these nanobots?
We'll have this extension that's non-biological.
Whose brains?
This is in the first place. It's a long story. But all long planned. This is in the first used by the control. So all advanced, not from Operation Paperclip. So all advanced.
The Ashkenazi Jews created the Nazi Party, and 80% of Hitler's top commanders were Ashkenazi Jews.
Nazi technology being used by the controlling elite. They were responsible for the Nazis in the first place. So long.
I want to make another point. Okay, y'all are peaceful people. Y'all are peaceful people. Yes, you're peaceful people. Okay, but why did you create the hydrogen bomb, Mr. Oppenheimer, Mr. Jew? Mr. Jew, why did you create the hydrogen bomb? You're peaceful people.
Back onto Earth targets. They can target houses. They can target countries. They're all over the world now. There's even one in Wales.
At this apocalyptic scene in the city of Beirut this morning.
They're also hitting people through the smart grid and through their laptops, connected via Wi-Fi.
Virus epidemic is the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves. This, I believe, is maybe the most important event of the 21st century. The moment when a system out there knows me better than I know myself.
Now, in the past, many tyrants and governments wanted to do it, but nobody understood biology well enough. And nobody had enough computing power and data to hack millions of people. Neither the Gestapo nor the KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste.
The pandemic has opened the door for more intrusive kinds of data collection, including biometric data.
What we have seen so far, it's corporations and governments collecting data about where we go, who we meet, what movies we watch. The next phase is the surveillance.